And a very good Saturday morning to you. Hope your day is off to a great start so far. And I'm your host, Randall White. It is Eat, Drink, Explore Radio, where we discuss all things food, wine, craft beer, travel, and tourism. And at this time, every Saturday morning, we discuss destinations. Now, typically, we focus on towns, cities, parks, trails, or other locations worthy of receiving a little extra attention, in our opinion. And we're usually pretty specific. But this week, we're headed to Southern California, and we're joined by Christopher Reynolds. He is a travel writer for the Los Angeles Times and has a new guide series available called Southern California Close-Ups, and it is sort of a patchwork around Southern California. Welcome to the program, Christopher.
Thanks, Randall. You can just call me Chris, and I appreciate being here.
Thank you, Chris. Now, you've broken up SoCal, we'll call it, into downtown L.A., Hollywood, Long Beach, San Pedro, and the South Bay. And for those of us from Northern California, we do not mean the Silicon Valley.
Exactly.
Instead, we mean Redondo, Hermosa, and Manhattan beaches, right?
Exactly. Yeah. As it turned out, we worked out so that we kind of sliced the pizza into a dozen pieces.
I see.
So Orange County and Los Angeles counties together, we came up with a dozen installments, and I went out and did as many things as I could think of in each of those places.
Great. Well, we'll focus on the four that your publisher sent me pictures for.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Sounds reasonable.
And we'll start along the Strand there in the South Bay.
Okay.
So that's my favorite area to visit in Los Angeles right now. You can get a good deal on hotel rooms. The hotels often give you a bike so you can explore the Strand, and it's you can actually avoid the freeway system the entire time you're there. It's wonderful.
Yes, and if people haven't been to that area before, they may underestimate the usefulness of the Strand and the way that it connects Redondo, Hermosa, and Manhattan beaches. It's a really nice area.
Yeah.
Restaurants have been really stepping up in the last few years, and a nice sleeper for somebody who wants to splurge for a weekend that most folks don't know about is in Manhattan Beach. Maybe you've heard of this. There's
Shade?
a hotel called Shade.
I love Shade. I stayed there.
Oh, okay, good. That's great.
It's
I think a
wonderful.
lot of people in Southern California haven't quite recognized it yet, even though it's been going for, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, I guess. But it's an upscale hotel, and it's right on the main drag there in Manhattan Beach, so you can stay there.
Has a rooftop pool, too.
It does. It's not an enormous pool.
No, it's not.
But it's there.
Yeah. You know, Chris, the room that we had a wine dispenser in it, and they had chosen 3 really high-quality wines that, you would pour your wine glass sort of like you would a beer tap.
Well, they knew the way into the heart of someone from San Luis Obispo.
You're right. and they did have a San Luis Obispo County wine on tap. It was wonderful.
Yeah, they got the right foot forward with you, I guess. Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, well, from there, you can walk down that main drag, past a number of popular restaurants and bars. There's a place called Rock and Fish that's been going for years, and then at the foot of the street there's the beach and a nice pier, and at the end of the pier there's a great little aquarium that the kids enjoy a lot. And you get out that pier early in the morning and you look down, you can see the surfers doing their thing. And
I didn't know there was an aquarium. I didn't realize there was an aquarium.
Yeah, there is.
It's something for me to check out next time I go.
Yeah, exactly. Hermosa Beach has a lot going on too, as well. I think I say in the guide, if you're 22 and looking to stay up real late and have a lot of fun, you can be in Hermosa Beach and be pretty happy, because there's a whole cluster of bars and restaurants there, right down by the water. I had a look at a hostel down there, and I'm a little bit past hostel age myself, but on behalf of all those who want to sleep by the beach for $25, $30 a night, I went in and had a look.
Hermosa Beach is a younger demographic for sure. Manhattan Beach would be more for people my age in their mid-40s, and so and then when you skip one more down, Redondo would be more for families?
Yes, and as you go further down to Redondo, and Redondo is a little bit less expensive and a little bit more down home. Although there's a Riviera area. Don't make me say that. That's got a number of nice places, little places to shop, and I think there's a microbrewery there as well.
Oh yes, and there's a new beer store in Redondo that has a wide selection of beers. It's owned by a friend of ours actually, but I can't think of the name of it right now. But we'll post that online at some point. All right, let's skip over to Long Beach, San Pedro. Some people may only know this area from getting on their cruise ship.
Yeah, that's true. There's a bunch of things to know about Long Beach and San Pedro. There's a great steakhouse in Long Beach, 555.
Uh-huh.
And of course, there's all that stuff right down by the water, and they have a great big aquarium with bells and whistles. And I do recommend that aquarium with kids. But something to keep in mind is that out in San Pedro, which a lot of people don't get to, is the Cabrillo. I think that's the proper Portuguese way of saying it, Cabrillo rather than Cabrillo, aquarium. And it was designed by Frank Gehry before he was quite as big a star architect as he is now. And it's a real down-home sort of aquarium. I think it's less than $10 to get in.
Really?
It's more than $10 to get into the one in Long Beach. But it's got a great number of displays and things, and it's down near by a little inlet, and it's a nice money-saving option.
I like that, and so do a lot of our listeners.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Long Beach has really come into its own and made itself its own city. No longer is it like this outskirts city. It is Long Beach, and one great thing about Long Beach is it's connected, I believe, on the Blue Line to downtown L.A.
Yeah. In fact, there are a lot of people at the Los Angeles Times who live in Long Beach and take that Blue Line to come into work. A less speedy form of transportation, but one that I enjoyed a lot, was the boats that you can take down in Naples. They got a little gondolieri service down there, so you can go down there and they'll take you on the little canals of Naples, and depending on which one you get, they may actually sing under the bridges.
Really?
And depending on which one you get, that might be a good thing or not.
Right. That's true. Now, let's say you were to take the Blue Line into downtown Los Angeles. I remember, 10, 20 years ago, downtown was a ghost town as soon as the sun went down, but that's no longer the case. Downtown Los Angeles is a destination.
Yeah, that has been a wonderful evolution to watch. I've been working at the paper for a little more than 20 years, and so I've been seeing it as it went. And there were all those years when people were promising how it was going to be a 24-hour city, and it just wasn't happening. And son of a gun, now it's happening. And
isn't that great? What do you think caused that? Is it the rail system or the subway that went in?
I think the Red Line and Blue Line, the subway system is a big part of it, and as much as I'm unimpressed by its architecture, the LA Live complex has played a really crucial role.
Yeah.
People go there for sporting events and other things. It's next to the convention center. They've got a Marriott and a Ritz-Carlton right there, and though that's not my favorite Ritz-Carlton in the world, it's really becoming a locus of people gathering. And the other thing that's happening in downtown Los Angeles is, for a while there'd be all these individual big projects. But there was never that connective tissue of little businesses between them that kind of get you from one big place to another. And now those are starting to fill in, and those are the most interesting business.
And it forces people out onto the street, and it gives the city an appearance of vibrancy, and then you want to be downtown. Yeah,
exactly. Now, on I think it's one Thursday night a month, they have an art walk down in the part of downtown just below Broadway, and that really comes alive. If you haven't been there for that really... you'll catch yourself thinking, am I in Los Angeles?
Right, yeah.
And it's not because the art is necessarily so great, but it's just because everyone's got this spirit of, hey, here we are in the city, let's have some fun.
I want to give a thumbs up to the downtown Westin Bonaventure. I've stayed there several times over the past year, and, that hotel has been there through the...
Oh, yeah.
For a long time. I don't know, I think it was built in the early 70s, maybe?
I think so. I had that look.
And we went to the rooftop restaurant that turns, and you can get a bottle of champagne there for $35 and sit there and enjoy a bottle of champagne with someone, and the restaurant will go all the way around during that time, maybe longer depending on how long you take to drink it. And you take glass elevators up to the top. It's wonderful. It's it's sort of a throwback thing to do, but it's a good time.
It is. And by the way, for people who don't visit Los Angeles very often, there is the idea out there that kooky restaurant at the theme building at LAX, that it revolves. It doesn't. It never has. You have to drink a lot there to make that revolve. And yet there are a lot of people who don't realize that the bar on top of the Bonaventure does revolve.
It does, and it's a dog-friendly hotel. That's why we've been staying there, and I think it's on the third floor. They have a giant outdoor lawn area where you can bring your dog, even in the middle of the night. And
if you want to be like younger and hipper and trendier, then there's the Standard Hotel nearby with a rooftop pool and a bar scene there.
Consistently voted one of the best.
A history nut, then there's the LA Athletic Club, which most people don't even realize has rooms. And it goes back to the early 20th century. Lots of Olympic athletes used to train there. Charlie Chaplin spent some time there, and they've got a couple of private restaurants and a bunch of hotel rooms that are really nice. And if you're a guest at the hotel, then you can eat at the restaurants, and it puts you sort of it's near 7th and Broadway.
Okay.
So it's also really good if you were going to, a Lakers game or a Clippers game.
Right. Sadly, we only have about a minute left to discuss probably one of the most vibrant areas in the Southland right now, Hollywood.
Yeah, everything's happening in Hollywood. And actually, the big Renaissance Hotel just changed and became a Lowe's. But yeah, you can take the Red Line to get to Hollywood from downtown. You can go to the Pantages Theater, which has, for my money, one of the most beautiful lobbies that you'll find anywhere in California. Disney premieres its new movies at the El Capitan.
Yeah.
Then there's the theater formerly known as Kodak, where Cirque du Soleil performs, and they have the Academy Awards.
It's now officially
the
Dolby
Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a lot.
I like the Roosevelt Hotel, and the bars in the lobby area are a lot of fun. What was that, Anthony, that cocktail? A ginger mojito that was made with vodka instead of rum. So really, it's not a mojito at all, but that's what it was called. And
there's a great burger restaurant at the Roosevelt, and also anybody who's ever seen, there's a scene in an old Shirley Temple movie where she dances with Bojangles Robinson on the steps of a hotel. That's the place.
It. Chris Reynolds, so great to have you on the show today with the LA Times. A new series called Southern California Close-Ups, 12 different versions of them. They're available online, and we have a link for you at eatdrinkexplore.com so that you can head down to the Southern California area and really get the best out of it. Thank you, Chris, for being on the show today.
It's my pleasure. Try the ebook or the app.
All right, stick around, everyone, because straight ahead we've got Travel Deals, one of our most popular segments, and everyone loves Gabe Saglia with Travel Zoo and his top 20. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. I'm Randall White, and we're back in just a minute. The Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Show